Health has launched this new mobile sampling and testing units, which will form part of this massive coronavirus testing drive across South Africa. Already we know that 10,000 field workers will visit homes and villages, towns and cities to screen residents for COVID-19 symptoms. I want to bring back Hasina Gori back into the conversation. She's at the Yeoville Clinic in Johannesburg. Hasina, thank you very much indeed for coming back to us. I just got this question with regards to how this will actually work. People want to know in terms of when this mobile unit comes to the area, what's the process?
So basically the process is one can come in here without a referral letter, and first they will be taken for screening where your basic health questions will be answered, whether or not you were exposed to someone who is COVID-19 positive, what kind of symptoms you have physically, whether you have a dry cough, whether you are experiencing any of the other symptoms that might show that you have a COVID-19. And then you're brought to the mobile van behind me here, where you will then be taken through the process of being tested. You'll go through the swabbing as well and go through all the other tests that are being done. And then once that is done, the samples will then be taken back to the National Health Laboratory Services, where it will be tested, and then once again you will get your results. These sites are being set up outside of the actual clinics to isolate and keep separate those that might be COVID-19 positive with those who are just coming here for their usual checkups, for their chronic medication or any of the other health concerns that they might have.
Yeah. So who will be tested, Hasina? Does everyone in that community can go to this mobile unit and say, I want to be tested, or how does it work? What's the criteria according to how you understand it?
From what we understand, it's anyone who feels they might be exposed to COVID-19 or just feel that they want to get tested. We also know that health workers here in this area have been going door to door as well to find people, to speak to them, to get an understanding whether or not anyone is, susceptible right now or a risk. We know when we spoke to the city of Johannesburg as well as the Gauteng Premier earlier this week, they said that these testing sites were specifically being brought to vulnerable areas that they've kind of found, and areas that they call priority areas. These areas are specifically densely populated places where people might come into contact with positive COVID-19 infected people. Areas such as Alexandra, as well as your suburbs. They said the inner city was one of those areas, which is where we are now in Yeoville. So the criteria is anyone right now that's feeling that they might be COVID-19 positive to come through to these areas, through to the mobile clinics and get tested. There are clinics, at least 27 sites across the city of Johannesburg alone that have these mobile tents as well as clinics in some places.
So how have people reacted, Hasina, when these mobile clinics have come into the area? What are people saying?
So we were in Alexandra on Tuesday as well, where a similar kind of concept was done. It was the pilot where at least 100 people were tested in Swetzler. That was after the one person was found to be positive and 9 then quarantined. And there we got the sense from people that they were quite happy that this was happening, that they were quite anxious after hearing of that positive COVID-19 infected person. And now they felt a bit of ease. We heard some similar kind of sentiments here. We saw a few people trickling in. It's quite early in the day as well, and I think people are just hearing about it and realizing that it is available here. So people are feeling a little at ease that the steps are being taken, that for some of them paying the amounts that are meant to be paid for these tests is quite exorbitant for them. So finding that it is available for them and they can come through here without a referral from a doctor and without all the other steps, I think it's putting people at ease.
Yeah, at ease indeed. Thank you very much indeed, Hasina. Hasina Gori there live for us in Yeoville.